Adam, Spring Showcase, we have wrapped up spring football, and we got some music going on in the background. Fans are still playing some games. Basketball players are swatting little kids, things like that. But obviously, very vanilla practice. We knew it was going to be, but sort of a party atmosphere out here. What did you think of it today?
It kind of reminded me of what Ryan Koenigsberg used to say on this beat, that the spring game is like eggnog, that he used to say every holiday season you're so excited for it, then you get it and it's just, it's okay. That's kind of what the spring game is every year. It's a chance for guys that aren't going to have a big role on this football team in the fall, that might be special teams contributors, to go out here and make some plays. It's funny, before the spring game, Spring Showcase started, you and I were coming up with our stars, our predicted stars, and I said Charlie Offerdahl, you said Jack Hystera. We did pretty well there. Hystera had that nice catch, a little trickeration there from Montana Lamonius Craig. As Brennan Lewis joked, his job is not going to be taken by Lamonius Craig. It was a little underthrown, but nice catch by Hystera, and Offerdahl gets in the end zone a couple times. Jordan Wolverton, interception in the end zone. If you're trying to analyze this football team based off of today, that's a mistake. That's right. Any real hard analysis of today is over-analysis.
Yeah, no question. I mean, this is nothing against guys like that, but this is a time for those guys to shine that we probably won't see a lot, during the fall. And frankly, again, this is not a knock on these guys, but if we're seeing those guys making plays in the fall, that's a problem. I mean, there's a lot of guys in this team that were out, and even some that we thought we might see, like a Tommy Brown, we didn't know was injured, and he wasn't playing. I was looking forward to seeing him. The offensive lineman from Alabama. Brennan Lewis played, but there was no Alex Fontenot. R.J. Snee was a little bit limited, even though he did play. It's hard to judge off of this.
I think I'm going to go up in the press box and just count the number of guys that are expected to be either starters or rotation guys. And I'm expecting it to be about half of this football team, especially when you consider they're going to bring in a few more transfers to kind of bolster their depth on defense. So, you look at the offensive line. What do they have, 6 scholarship healthy offensive linemen? I mean, you had 2 walk-ons starting at right guard, right tackle with the second group. And you had Casey Roddick rotating in with that group. I mean, it really was not the football team you're going to see out there this year. But, any chance to get in Folsom Field, nice environment, good weather. So
the bottom line, what do you get out of it? I mean, I feel like the biggest thing I get out of it, not even just today, but the whole spring, was that I feel like there's a good vibe on this team. I mean, they really enjoy kind of working with these coaches. This coaching staff enjoys working together, and it feels like they all feel like they got better, which I know sounds cliche, but I mean, there seems to be genuineness in that. What do you think?
Yeah, there was so much turnover on this roster. I do think there is a sense of these are the guys that are committed to being here, and you've kind of accelerated the process. You see it anytime there's a coaching change. After a few years, it's like, gosh, a lot of the guys that the new head coach inherited aren't around anymore. With the transfer portal, one-time transfer exemption, it felt like that just kind of got accelerated a little bit more. And there are guys that transfer that you would wish to have in this program. I'm not spinning that, but in terms of team camaraderie, I think that was good. I also do take away from today and the other open scrimmage we went to, and just comments by the coaches that they're loaded on the edge. They lose Carson Wells, and he was the headlining guy there making plays. But a lot of guys that are going to be rotating in off the edge in this team. Jamar Montgomery, Guy Thomas, Josh Gustav is going to come back in the mix. We saw Chance Main go out there with the first defense today. There's a lot of guys that are going to be rolling through in that group. Devin Grant, who am I forgetting there? I know I'm forgetting somebody else as well.
I don't remember, but you mentioned Guy Thomas, Devin Grant, Alvin Williams.
Who we talked about the other day.
We didn't see him a ton as much today, but he made some big plays at the open scrimmage 2 weeks ago. Has been talked about a lot. So there is a lot of guys, and Josh Gustav, he's going to be back this summer, so there's even more guys there. Chris Wilson was kind of walking off. I said hi to him real quick and just chatted with him. I wasn't interviewing him, but he said, I've been around a long time. He goes, I know when it's bad. He goes, this is not bad. So they like this group. I mean, they feel like they've got some players here, even though on paper it looks like they did lose a lot of their top players on defense.
Expectations couldn't be lower for this football program right now. I think I saw an over-under set at 2 wins for this football team. It's a really tough schedule, and I had somebody ask me, well, show me where the wins are. And I always hate doing that. There's going to be teams that aren't as good as we thought they were going to be, and there's going to be weeks where it's college football, crazy things happen. Right. I don't know what my win prediction would be for this team. I'm not going to predict them to go to a bowl game, but they're, I don't know, on some level in a good spot because the expectations are so low on the outside that they can kind of band together. But it's spring ball. Everything's always positive this time of year.
Yeah. Real quick, I mean, quarterback-wise, you always try to analyze the quarterback. And Brennan Lewis, everybody wanted to see him look better. I thought he looked pretty good today, overall. I mean, I was chatting with a fan friend of mine that he said, man, it seems like a lot of times we don't see the quarterbacks play very well. Steven Montez was notorious for not having great spring games. Then he would play pretty well in the season. Brennan Lewis, I thought, did some good things today.
Yeah, I don't think it was anything over the top, good or bad, right?
I didn't think he was that bad. I thought he did he was okay.
And one of his best qualities is something that's not going to be shown in a showcase like this. Yeah. His toughness last year. You could say what you want to about Brennan Lewis, and there was a lot of negative stuff to talk about in terms of reading defenses and getting the ball out on time, but that kid took a beating last year, and every time he got back up, and it's funny, during the end of the red zone scrimmage they did today, it looked like he had won it by diving in the end zone, but I think it was Jarrell that stepped in and said, no, you're not live, that doesn't count. Yeah. But you can tell he loves the game of football. He likes getting physical, and so just watching him run around, even on the play after that, he sucked the defense in to throw it in to Crawford for the touchdown there. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to analyze that. Yeah. I would say the first scrimmage we came into, I still thought there was a little bit more of a delay in terms of getting the ball out. Yeah. It was a little less pronounced today, but again, none of this is going to decide who is the starting quarterback for this football team.
And Brennan was funny because he said, Darrell does that to me all the time, where he calls those plays back, and he says it in a way like, I would have scored no matter what, if it was live or not. Yeah. He's got that confidence, and so you got to like that in the quarterback. This is still very much a battle that's going to go into the fall with JT Shrout. Maddox Kopp, Drew Carter have some talent as well.
But it's clearly a two-man competition.
It is. But like Montana Lemonius Craig said, he goes, that quarterback room is deep now, and if they had to go to a third, last year they couldn't, this year if you have to go to a third, it's not too bad. So, or at least it's better than it was last year. So, anything else to wrap up spring?
Well, they're going to get a little time off, and then they'll get back into it with spring ball. So we get a little time off. What do you have going on the next couple months?
Nothing, and that's what I love about this time of year. No, there's a little things. I mean, we'll do some NFL draft stuff coming up this week, and then some interviews. I know you and I both kind of stockpiled during spring that we'll get to over the next few weeks, and we at the camera do more than you guys do as far as like lacrosse, track, things like that. So we'll do some of those things, but then you got to go somewhere with the family this summer. So it'll be a little family vacation. We're back in late July for some football.
Yeah, I'm going to San Diego running a marathon in June. I got 8 more pounds I got to lose before then, so I'm going to be acquainted with these flat irons. I found a good run to do along the Boulder Creek, so that's what's on the docket for me.
8 pounds to lose is my starting point, so we'll see where we are when we come 1st of August. But that'll do it for spring ball, and we'll see you guys in the fall.